you can pick to have both. Because, you know, kind of did. Hey folks, welcome back to Bullets and Brass. We're doing another one that I've done before, but we're kind of updating it because I think it's still relevant and it's still something that has value to talk about. So, enter 300 Blackout. And for those familiar with my channel, this is my pistol lower, but this is my 300 Blackout. And this is honestly how I think a 300 Blackout should go. Now, obviously there are different flavors. You can have, the Sig Rattler kind of thing. You can, there's a million versions, but short barrel, suppressed, with some sort of abbreviated stock setup. If you are not doing a pistol brace setup, if you don't SBR it, honestly, I'm not sure why you're running 300 Blackout. And we'll get to why that is in a minute. Because as much as I love the caliber, you have to be realistic. You have to really actually look at the numbers and see what you're looking at. Standard 223 upper. Now, yes, guys, I realize they're not exactly the same height at the receiver and everything. I can't get it any closer. But you notice my barrel is actually longer than my suppressor is tall. Guess what? Same energy. Yeah. 300 Blackout out of a standard 16-inch upper supersonic versus 5.56 or good 223 hunting ammo, self-defense ammo, out of a 16-inch barrel. Honestly, the difference is not enough for me to give a shit about. But here's the key. That was in a 16 or longer barrel. When it's not a 16-inch barrel, those numbers are very different because what you can get out of this is full power. I've got an 8.5-inch barrel in here. It's the 8.5-inch Faxon Gunner Profile 300 Blackout barrel. Well, I get nearly full velocity from my ammo. If I put the equivalent barrel in a 5.56 rifle, and let's be fair, the equivalent barrel would not be 8.5 inches, it would be 12.5 inches. But this is shorter than that. So if I add a suppressor to that, even with a 12.5-inch barrel, it's up there somewhere. It's out of the frame if I did that. Because let's be fair, my barrel is here, by the way. The end of my barrel is right about there. And then it's suppressor mount. Okay. Should probably clean that, right? Yeah, I'm sure that's not all in frame. It might be, but I moved the camera up a little bit before I started. So yeah, that's a thing. This is much more awkward indoors, even outdoors. Moving that weight that high, that far away from my body. Moving it that far away from my body makes it very awkward. Now, doable? Absolutely. Better than not shooting suppressed? Absolutely. But when you transition from target to target, having it that far out, this is not no weight. This is pretty hefty. Indoors, having this be that much shorter, night and day difference. This is short. This is convenient. Oops, I'm shining the light at the wall. So ballistically, I am better off in most normal scenarios, not military, not long distance hunting. We're talking 200 yards in it. I'm better off with 300 Blackout. Not talking ammo cost. And admittedly, if you buy a dedicated 5.56 suppressor, you can make it a little shorter. You can do a 6-inch one, no problem. But M193 out of a 12.5-inch barrel, the energy level is down below 1,000, roughly, on average. It was 1,027 if you kept to the higher end of that speed, and if you went toward the lower end, it dropped under 1,000, versus 1,350 for the 300 Blackout. Okay, now, that's a 30% difference. That's not nothing. The M855, you're around 2,800 feet per second. and the muzzle energy was down to about 1,000. And I know I didn't give speeds earlier. Didn't really make a difference because we were more concerned with the energy. That's not insignificant. And you notice, for example, the M193, you started out on a full length barrel at almost 1,300 foot-pounds of energy. So it was right up there with 300 Blackout. Out of that 12.5-inch barrel, you lost a third of that. So if your plan is to set up a rifle for home defense, closer range hunting, particularly like predator, whitetail, hogs, and you're not expecting to take 300, 400, 500 yard shots. That's not what this rifle's for. Just keep in mind what is your realistic use, not your fantasy land, not your Armageddon dreams. What are you really gonna do, and what do you really need? And I had to take a hard look at it myself lately because I really want a 6.5 Brennan setup again. I really want to go that route. But I look at it and I go, why do I want this? Like, what am I really going to do with this? I have rifles that can do that job. I've got 300 Blackout. I've got 6.5 Creedmoor. If we're going for anything that is not fast-paced, close range, I'm taking my 6.5 Creedmoor. I may even take my 8mm Mauser. If we're going somewhere where we're going to carry it a whole lot and shoot it very little. That is my advice. Think long and hard about your needs. If economics of the ammo are primary, if this is your first AR, if this is going to be your main training AR, if this is I want to stack it deep for the end of the world, that's a lot cheaper with 5.56. End of the world doesn't have to be actually like end of the world Armageddon. It can just be crazy inflation. It can just be, a pandemic. It can just be politicians talking about gun control and the shelves are empty. That, if you're shopping for ammo, that's the end of the world. But if your goal is less ammo-centric, 300 Blackout's really, really a great choice. So you got to pick. And the beauty of the two is that you don't have to only have one. You can pick to have both. Because, kind of did.